get familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for showing so much love on the last video. That was just more of an introduction of who I am and where I grew up in California. But so today we're going to focus on drugstore makeup. So this is more of like what I want to do YouTube for, just reviewing makeup, organization, cooking, motherhood, work, all the boring stuff that I love. So today you guys going to see me speak about just majority of my go-to. Two of the products that I'm looking at are high-end, but I've been using this for many years, even though I know that makeup has an expiration. Like if you look at some of the product, it's say 24 months or 12 months. So for me, if I use something on a regular like foundation in my brows, I like to use something like it's a drugstore where I can just go on my way home, picking up my son, I can just grab and I don't have to worry about going to the mall or Sephora. Like, that's just me. I just want to be practical. So I'm just going to start from the brows, the eyes, the foundation, concealer, and my brushes. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys subscribe. Please like, and let's get started. So we're going to start with primer. I have very, very oily skin. It's really rare that I get dry. The only place that I use differently with my foundation is my nose. But to prep the skin is a little bit different. So I use the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock. The entire brand is really, really good. I love this particular primer because you don't need a lot to control the oils that you need. Of course, I get oily during the day, but this one sets it. Now, I think the best thing that I've learned over the past couple of years about YouTube is that you put a primer on and then you put a finishing powder over it. And I use the NYX High Def Finishing Powder in the color Banana. I know that sounds very bizarre, but I learned this from one of the YouTube that I've watched. Her name is Jackie Aina. So when I put the primer on, it's like you're prepping your skin, like you prep your hair. Before you do anything to it, you put shampoo, conditioner, and then you put a heat protector or whatever serum just to give your hair that volume that you like. It goes the same way with your makeup. So to me, my step is always the same. I use a primer all over my face. Then I, slightly dust this high def powder all over my face where I get most oily, which is my nose, my T-zone, and sometime on my cheek. Not necessarily my chin, but a lot on my nose. So I put a little powder underneath there. Once that's settled, I like to work on the rest of my face. So I use my brows that I go back and forth a lot, but I've been sticking to this NYX Micro Brown Pencil in Ash Brown. This, you can get it from Target, Ulta, Walmart. It does not matter. It's anywhere from $7.99 to $10. But this is a dupe for the Anastasia Wiz pencil, I believe. I love this pencil. It's very fine point, as you can see, if you can see. So it's really fine point, but it gets into the nook and cranny of your eyebrows, and I just love it. You can do a natural look, you can do high arch. I just love this product. And I used to use the NYX, what is it called, Wet n Wild one, retractable. I like that. But the way it's angled, it is really fat. So to me, I like to get the little corners. I use this a lot. So I've been repurchasing this quite often, and I'm brunette, so I like to use ash brown so I can dress it up, I can dress it down. That's why I love this pencil. You can set it with a brow gel. I use that, or I can use gel that I put in my hair. Honestly, it's the same thing. I get very oily around the area, so that's why I put the powder on first. And like I talked about, it's from the NYX brand. It's a high def finishing powder. I use it under my eyes. I use it all over my face. Or if I don't want to use like a powder, I just use this all over my face because it's a banana color. You have one I think is very translucent. It has peach. It has banana. So I love this thing. I use this a lot, and as you can see, use quite often. So after I finish the brows, I just do the basic eyeshadow, just brown or whatever color you want to do. So I used the Lorac Pro palette, and I got this a couple of years ago, and as you can see, I don't really use the pink section of it. I use a more matte neutral. And when I work in the when I go to my office or I just work with patients, I like to keep my eye very mute. I don't like to do any smoky eye. I don't like to do anything loud. I just like to go straight to basic because the brows is already, high in foundation. So I don't want to have a loud eyeshadow. But when I go out to birthday parties or just want to look pretty that day, I just put a little bit more effort where I cut my crease, I put my lip color, and I smoke it out. But every day I use a very basic brown. You can use like an orange brown if that's your preference. I like to use very, very nude brown. That's my preference. Everybody's preference is different, but that's what I like. But I got this a couple years ago from my husband. He bought it for our anniversary, and I've been still using it since, as you can see. I will dip into the glitter section, but I really don't, honestly. Over the years, I haven't been really girly as I used to be before I became a mom. I used to contour, I used to highlight, I used to do all that great stuff, but I don't do that no more because I don't have the time. So after eyeshadow, I like to use my mascara, and I always go back to the L'Oreal Voluminous Original. And I think they have the carbon black, brown black, or straight black. I just love this particular one. The wand right now looks kind of crazy, but it's just a straight wand right now, and it gets right in there. And I use this under the lower lash line too, right here, the lower lash. But you gotta be careful with this because it will be all over your face if you're not careful. So I love this thing. And after I finish my complete eyes, I like to use foundation that sets the face where you don't have to worry about reapplying or like spot conceal. Like that's my main thing, where I can put foundation, you buff it in, you forget about it. So I always use this one. It's the inflatable long wear, and the shade is 405. And this I only can purchase in Walmart. So I live in Georgia, and I know that they sell them in Target as well, but I haven't seen them there. I've been going to Walmart a lot to get this, and this lasts me quite often. I can do it when I'm working, or I'm just gonna do a quick errand. I just want to kind of spot conceal. Those are my main thing that I use it for. And it's like a stick foundation. It's very matte. So if you don't want a matte foundation, I wouldn't suggest this, but this is to me is the best one. I even suggest it for my sister. She lives in Utah, and she has a very cold weather, and sometimes I don't think she gets hot summer, but I think that she gets really windy, and all the cold weather and stuff like that, and her skin can get dry. So I recommend this for her, and she says she's been loving it, and this is her second purchase. I want to say this is my 10th purchase because I love this thing. As I mentioned before, my nose do get the dryness from anything, so I just use the True Match blendable foundation around that region. I don't really use it all over my face as I used to. I noticed about this foundation, it oxidized on me, because even with the bottle you can see that it's not really matching my skin. But the good thing about this one is the technology to match your skin. I believe it here and there, but I'm telling you, it oxidizes very, very much, at least on my skin. When you drag your foundation down onto your neck, you can tell where the foundation stopped. And this is why I don't use it all over my face. I only use it for my nose, and I just blend it in. But I wouldn't recommend to this use all over the face in my skin type, just because you can just tell. I use it with a brush. I use it with sponge. It's not, how you say, blendable for me. But I love that stick foundation from L'Oreal. This is my also go-to, but I have not touched lately, is the True Match Luminous makeup from L'Oreal. If there's days when I want to look dewy, when I don't have to worry about it's an 8-hour thing where I can just put foundation and go, will be this. But like I say, this one oxidized as well. And that's my biggest thing when I buy foundation. I want to make sure it covers really well. I want to make sure it matches my skin the best. As you know, when you go to a drugstore, you can't really test makeup like that. You really have to know your skin type, and you have to know what kind of skin tone you have. Like I have very bluish, greenish under eye circle, and so I cancel that with the orange, concealer or orange stick, and then the rest it has to have a warm tone. So you have to know you have a neutral tone, warm tone, or in between, or you have nothing. So you just have to know your skin to shop at drugstore, in my opinion, because I can find a foundation that works in a particular brand. I can use the same description on another brand, and it doesn't work for me. But these two do good on my sister's skin, and we're twins. It does really well on my sister's skin. However, for me, because I live in Georgia, it doesn't really do well with me. Maybe I'm just losing my touch with makeup. I don't know. But these two I wouldn't use on an 8-hour shift. I really wouldn't, because you can tell where the foundations, you know, it separates a lot. My next go-to, I love this concealer, is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, the shade 25. Now, this is a very blendable, rich, creamy kind of concealer. I don't know what kind of dupe this is for the high-end makeup, but to me, this is only about, I think, $7.99 in store. All that foundation that I show you guys is $10 and below. The stick foundation is 10 and above. It's like 12 bucks, I think. I love that, so I will always repurchase that. But the concealer, to me, when I go outside and I don't feel like doing the most, I just want to spot conceal with my under eyes and my acne scar. I just really dab it in and then just blend it and forget about it. Best concealer ever. I used to use the shade 20 and 25, mix them together, because sometimes I want to have a highlight and some days I don't. But then with this one, you really don't have to think about it. You just kind of put it in your skin, put it on the skin, and just blend with your fingers or your brushes, and it works just as well. So I love this thing. The next one I'm going to show you guys, and it looks kind of crazy because I overuse this very much so, is the Smashbox Orange Corrector. Anybody who has dark circles or high pigmentation, I would recommend this. You can buy it from Ulta, or I want to say Ulta and Sephora. Well, I act like I can't pronounce certain things. Safari. No. Sephora. Anyways, I'm Asian. I can't pronounce either. Anyways, don't mind me. So I like this particular pencil just because you can really get into the pigmentation of your skin. You can really cover your dark circles, and I just think that is the best thing ever. If you just want to wear foundation but you really don't want to spend much time, but you want to cover your dark circles, for me in particularly, and I think my twin sister too, because we similar in ways, where even if you wear a foundation and you don't have a very basic concealer or like corrector, it still will show through your concealer because you're not prepping it the way you're supposed to. So when I use this, to me is the best thing. And actually my sister-in-law Janae got me this recently, and as you can see, I use it very much so. Love this thing. It's not the most cheapest thing, but it's the best thing for you to use if you just want a quick and easy, you know, corrector where it doesn't dry, it doesn't do any of that. It does the job, and I love this thing. All right, guys, so the next couple things is very, you know, easy, is brushes here and there. So I use the NYX one flat brush for my concealer and my foundation. So I kind of just like pat it in there. And some people do circular motion. I just kind of pat and then buff as you go. It's just depending. And the best way to buff is you buff down your neck, because you don't want your foundation to look different from your neck. So you definitely want to blend. The next two one that I like, I got this from MAC. I've been using this for, I want to say like 10 years plus now. And it's a 227. It's really good if you want to put under your concealer. Once you put your concealer, you can just, you know, dab it down and just kind of drug it out here, and it just kind of make it look nice. So I like that. And then I got this from Ulta as well, just a flat brush to kind of put your powder on. So those are my go-to brushes that I like, that I use very often. I do have a lot of brushes, but these are my main brushes that I use very frequently. And of course you have a makeup sponge, and it's kind of dirty right now because I used it this morning. So I got this from Target. It's the Real Technique sponge. I love about this because it has a flat surface where you can really press into the concealer and just kind of flat them down. And once I buff my foundation in and I want to do another run through, I use a sponge to kind of pat it down for all the, you know, oil powder being mixed together, and just kind of, you know, press it down instead of dragging it around my face. So I love this thing. The last thing that I gonna mention to you guys is the True Match Mineral from L'Oreal. It's the color in W4 and 5 Natural Beige. Love this thing. they come with a kabuki brush that I don't use because it separates my makeup when I kind of like pat it in there. So I don't use the top of it. However, I do use just this portion of it. I just shake it up and just kind of swirl it around my face. This is equivalent to me like Bare Minerals. And I love about Bare Minerals, and this is kind of giving you that coverage without really, it makes your skin breathe, if that makes sense. Even though you're putting all this makeup on, you still want to look as natural or make it seem like you're not putting as much on there. So to me, these are very basic things that I use on a regular. I recommend to my sister. I recommend to my sister-in-law, my staff at work. Like, to me, because I'm constantly in an office, but I constantly go back and forth and I run back and forth, and I want a foundation that I don't have to worry about throughout the day. I kind of blot it down, but I don't have to worry about my brow shifting or my foundation shifting, well, at least to me. So you can alter how you want it to be, but to me, with makeup, you can really dress it up, you can dress it down. Like I've told you guys before, I have played around with makeups where I use MAC. I have used things from like Smashbox brand. I use a lot of high ends, but to me, my thing is, if you can't have quality makeup for a reasonable price, and I know people say you pay for what you get, and I get that. Obviously, my face is not completely beat right now because I just came back from my office, but these are very things that you can get from a drugstore, and it works just as well. It's just that you have to prep your skin. You have to use the proper brushes. So I hope you guys like the tips that I presented, and I hope you guys like the products. Let me know if you do. And until next time, guys, thank you.
Familiar, you're familiar.